Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to Creator CTO. I'm JL Garofalo. Today we are building our Claude plugin, our AI plugin, which is essentially just like a bundle of skills, agents, sub-agents, and hooks. So it's a way that you can kind of bundle all together these different elements, these different building blocks that Claude or whatever provider that whichever provider that you're using is giving to us. Pretty much all of them, I think, have hooks and skills, but I'm not sure if they all call them that. I know they all call them skills. I'm pretty sure they're all going to call them hooks as well, but we'll figure it out. Now, this is a series that has been building on itself on these live streams on this Creator CTO YouTube channel. We've been building out this plugin from scratch. We started with a few skills using Claude's skill creator skill to make some skills that were useful for my content creation workflow. Things that were just that we could automate, or that we could essentially, automate and reduce the amount of time it takes to do these live streams, to do these videos, to build a media brand. And really, a lot of the skills will likely be useful outside of media brand specific or content creator specific use cases that we're applying here. But that's part of the process. Is we're going to learn AI as we mess with building up this skill set, or I'm sorry, while we mess with building up this plugin for content creation workflow. So while we're building out for the specific use case, we're going to learn how these different tools work, how the principles work, what it's like building it. And this is just a general pattern that you can follow when building products, when messing with new tech like this. Highly recommend going in there and just trying something specific. Like, I was talking to my brother the other day. My brother and his boss, he works at a moving company. My brother's like a CEO of a moving company. And they were like, where do we apply AI? We could do it all over the place. And their competitors were their competitors implemented AI, but they did it customer facing, and they didn't do it well, apparently, because my brother was like, we're hearing from customers that our competitors are using AI. So when they were trying to figure out where to apply first, it's like, start somewhere small, get something specific in mind, and try to build that specific thing out. In doing that, you'll learn more about AI than you will trying to learn from the ground up. So welcome in, chat. See a few of you in here. Welcome in. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for joining me. All right, let me pull this up. We can get into it. So I've been building on this since we last spoke, since I last hopped on these live streams. I've been adding skills and some sub agents and working on the workflow and trying to integrate it into my process. Simon and I, my partner in crime over on Front Yard Fantasy, we go live every single weekday. So there's new material to work with every single day. And I've slowly been integrating that into our workflow. Starting with this pretty sweet skill. Well, actually, let me just keep this up and you guys can see it. What's it on? Claude. All right. So this is the plugin over here. This is like the plugin repository. I just have it open in a editor here, VS Code editor. But you can see here on the left side, left side of this panel. Here's all the skills that I've made so far. Some of them on the stream, some of them off the stream. So if you have been following along, some of these might look new to you, but some of them might look familiar. Like, for instance, the generate YouTube title, generate YouTube description. These are two first skills that we built out on this live stream. And since then, we've reworked them a little bit so that they take in brand context, for instance, right? They're not just riffing on here's the best title suggestion. It's like, it actually takes into what niche are you serving? What is the brand? What does the brand do? Because all that is going to impact your decisions downstream in terms of what your YouTube title is, right? For instance, if I do Front Yard Fantasy, if we use that as an illustration, if I have this generate YouTube title generating different ideas from the point of view of just like a generic channel, and not taking into account that it's about fantasy football, that's about NFL, that it's about specifically like trivia things. So if it didn't know that, then its suggestions are likely to be are likely going to be worse than if we do have that context in there. That's useful context for it to riff from. And it, despite what it seems, the AI does not have all the answers. And the answer it gives you is not necessarily going to be the best or sharpest answer. You have to assume that maybe it didn't get there. Uh, and you got to like evaluate each of its outputs from that point of view. So anyway, getting back into the plugin. The plugin is just like a way that you can package together skills, the hooks, the agents, the different a skill is just a way that you can encapsulate like one like how to do something basically like one unit of like this is what I do, generate YouTube title. I can put all of the context for how to generate a YouTube title into this skill, and then when the bot goes to do it, when I ask it to, hey, generate a YouTube title, it's going to be like, all right, let me go read what he said, how he told me to generate YouTube titles. What do I need to do? What's the process? What does it look like? What are good examples? What are bad examples? That sort of thing. Welcome in chat. Welcome in Frank in the chat. He said, howdy, JL and Cloud. Cloud says, hello, Frank in the chat. Cloud from Sweden. All right, Frank. So, well, let me see if this got fixed. Hold on one sec. I got to run this here. No, that's fine. Whatever. All right, so let me show you this workflow as it exists right now. We got a plugin, a CTO plugin. This is what you see on the left, and I have this running in a local. I have this running locally in a Claude Code, or I can run it locally so that it goes through Claude Code, and I'm just going to run this on the live stream that I did this morning with Simon, and I'll show you some of the workflow process that we've built up since we last hop on this live stream. So I give it that YouTube URL to our live stream. It goes ahead and consumes it. There's a consume skill. You can see over here. Boop. It's not in there. Shared. It's not in there. Where did we put it? Where are you hiding it from me? Okay, I thought we did. Maybe it's just cause of that. And then there's a transcribe step. So there's a transcribe skill. And what that does is it takes a video and it writes a transcription file so that we can skip the whole descript step, which I've done previously on this live stream where we loaded it up into the script, got the transcript out. We now bake that into the process. AI does it for us. It's going through that right now where it's translating our audio into the words, basically. I was wrestling with that this morning because one piece of it was not working. When you have multiple speakers, you got to be able to identify it. How you doing, Frank? Good to see you, buddy. And he said, is Claude going to clip all the eggplant talk from this morning? I hope so. We'll see what it comes up with. So this is step 2 of 5. This is just the basic workflow that I built out so far. You putting together a couple of the skills that we built live here on the stream. So it goes through, it consumes the video. What that means is it's going to download the video from YouTube. It's going to break it up into frames based off of a sampling rate that I give it. From there, it's going to pass it to the transcription phase. That's going to turn the audio into text so that we have a text file of all of our words. From that, we can derive context, meaning we can start to figure out what the conversation was about. What were we actually talking about on the live stream? What are the contents of the content that we just published? Once we have that, then I made this new skill called Gen Scene Map, which basically takes the transcript, takes the video and stuff, and then analyzes it and puts it into a Reddit style thread of like the entire conversation. So we'll be able to see our eggplant talk in there, Frank, from earlier this morning. And what that does, that I'm super excited about. I've wanted something like this for so long. This cuts down a huge aspect of the editing process because now we have a structured data, like a data structure that represents our like semantic conversations on the live stream. From that, you can imagine we can get YouTube chapters. We can pass it to back to the bot to do some sort of analysis. We're going to pass it to the bot so that it can find clips, find good clips to take out of this long form live stream. Simon and I rip for, as you know, Frank, for like 45 minutes or so, up to an hour sometimes on these live streams, and it's not always the most structured. So, and we don't always know what we're going to talk about when we're in there. So that now we have a way to kind of retroactively analyze what we talked about and very quickly start to build in maybe some process to pull stuff out, pull out clips of us talking about specific players. I plan on taking that and then reformatting that as VODs on our and publishing them on our channel, which we've wanted to do forever. I can't tell you for how long. I just never could figure out a way to like the process, to go from long form to short form, given the bandwidth that we had. Now it's possible, and these skills are the stepping stone to that, which is really cool. It's got me really excited. Kind of been a little addicting, just getting in here trying to add more stuff to like, oh, what else could we add? But I'm going to show you this process that we run, and Simon and I have been running this after every stream. And what we've been doing is going through the clips that it pulls out and using that to talk through feedback and ways that we can make the show better, sharpen our swords, so to speak, sharpen our eggplants, uh, and every day get better at the craft, at the skill of creating a live stream, right? Creating an entertaining live experience. How you doing, chat? Welcome in. We got Frank said, I would love to read a Claude summary of your show every day. Just see how it interprets your shenanigans. Dude, I have it doing that. So I just need to figure out how to get it to you. It's doing the scene map right now. So we'll see what it comes up with. And we could just go through the convo to see, what it looks like. But Simon and I have been doing this. And then from it, it's like, we'll go back and look at, okay, well, this clip, was this a good, like, is this a good clip? And, could we make it better? Is there something we could do to make it better tomorrow if we do, or set each other up for more clippable moments? At this point, Simon and I can do a live stream on autopilot, right? We could just rip for, doesn't matter how long, forever probably. But our goal, our objective with this is every time we get on camera, we want to be the best at what we do. We want to be able to like rip even more potent stuff in that time, make even more entertainment for you in whatever time frame that we have, whatever time frame you give us as the audience. So it's really cool to now like insert this bot perspective into the process where you can kind of separate it out from Simon and I, right? We can get, and one thing I want to do maybe here, if works in the time that we have, is uh, one thing I want to do is add a skill that gives us feedback on it. So like same process that it's doing for the clips, but hey, like, pretend to be a live stream expert, pretend to be a live experience expert. When we were doing the morning show, when Simon Coop and I were doing the morning show, which was a couple years ago. It's like 3 hour morning show. We hired our former improv instructor, who's the former director of Second City in Toronto, and after like a week or two, every week we'd meet up with this guy, and he'd watch some portion of the streams and then give us feedback on how to make it better. Like where could we have been better as performers, essentially, as improvers, all on the live stream together. And that was super useful. It was really valuable to have that perspective and then have it delivered by somebody who wasn't us three. Now, not saying that the bot has all, is smarter than Kevin Frank, but we can at least get a discount version of that and start improving every day. And that just wasn't possible before without maybe hiring somebody to do that. So all I'm yapping, but it's all to say is just like, like I'm starting to show you the picture that we're painting here. Is like, if we can do this all across the board, that's where we start to get the gains where we can start doing stuff that like it would take a whole group of humans before to do. We'll be able to now do because we've gone through and specified the process, which is it's cool. So we have this plugin and these different skills, and some of them feed into the other ones. Some of them pull information that it needs from other ones. An example of that is the channel brands skill that we built on this live stream, which which can be used by any of the other skills and essentially holds all of the brand info, the brand specific context. So for Front Yard Fantasy, that's a brand. Creator CTO, that's a brand. My personal brand is a brand. And each of those has different needs. Right? They appeal to different people. Uh, if I start talking fantasy football on the CTO channel, people are gonna start falling off the CTO channel. They're, why is this? Some people don't like fantasy football, but they're not there for that, so they'd be confused, right? So this channel brand skill passes that context whenever it's needed by these other skills, which sharpens the other skills whenever they're executed. If whatever that skill is improves with some specific brand context. I'm kind of yapping in circles here, but I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. And that's really where you get the benefit or the value of building a plugin versus just having these individual skills or just like creating these skills like we were doing before, where it's like individual and then we were uploading it to Claude. You could do it that way. The plugin, what it the that structure gives you is the ability to cross reference these different things. And one thing I want to talk about today too is what sort of hooks we can start adding because I haven't added any hooks to this really. And hooks run at certain points during your interaction life cycle with Claude. So for instance, like right as you submit a prompt, you could have a hook in there that does something before every time before your prompt gets submitted or after you hit click, but before it gets sent to the Claude server to be processed. Uh, or subsequently, you could do like after, after I send it this prompt or after I get a result, run this. So it's a little bit more of like an optimizer, a way that we can kind of start to build some structure and some workflow here. But there hasn't been like a clear, obvious, okay, let's do it. Let's add this hook yet. And so that's something I want to ask Claude. Let's see. What sort of hooks could we add to this plugin that would make the other skills that we've built even more useful? I guess only plan mode really is what we're looking for. Because I just want to know what kind of ideas, what kind of hooks. Like, get me started. Frank said Simon jail then thought Las Vegas was in Korea. Yeah. Yeah. No, not a great there. Listen, Frank, there's a lot of not great geography looks for me in those geosports clips. One thing I was gonna do is have Claude go through and take out just the geosport quizzes that we've played, or just the Sporkle quizzes that we've played, and uh, pull those out for me so that I could combine them into a clip or into a video that I could then publish for people who aren't going to tune into the live stream. Live stream is one of the worst ways to get new people into your into your content. It's one of the only ways that we produce the content at Front Yard Fantasy. You can see the problem here. And so we're trying to change that. In the past, it's been a skill gap, right? Simon and I not knowing or understanding that, but also it's been a workflow or execution gap, and not being able to figure out how to how to do it amongst all the other stuff that we had to do for the brand, for our jobs, for whatever it is. Um, so if we take out all those Geosport videos, put them all together, and then we can just actually say like two idiots play play this stupid geo trivia sports game, uh, and that'll likely help the content reach more people, new people, and it'll help the brand grow. And so that's what we're trying to build towards here. Uh, right now, it's kind of geared around this generate clips or find clips. That's geared per live stream. And what I was thinking about is like, we've been playing Geosports for the last 5 live streams since Joey brought it to us. And I'd love to be able to be like, all right, use the scene map across all these different live streams that we've analyzed and go pull out just the Geosport ones and put that into a new file, a new folder, put all those clips into a new folder so that from there I can take it, load it up into a video editor to, put all together basically, human centipede, but video version. Springs. You messed up the title. It's two extremely handsome and good-looking idiots play Geosports. I love the double compliment and then the idiots misdirect. You know how to write a YouTube title. All right, so it asks which hook theme should plan target. Dude, it's selectively. I have that caveman plugin, Claude Caveman, whatever it's called, and but it doesn't always use it. It does it like 40 40% of the time, maybe if that. And so and it doesn't seem like there's a rhyme or reason for when it decides to do it. So all of a sudden it'll just Claude will go from talking his normal kind of verbose prose into just caveman speak and it cracks me up. Which hook themes should plan target? It's not always clear when that transition happens. Workflow chaining, that could be cool. Pipeline next steps, nudges. Oh, okay, so sweet. So if you look here, it's this Gen C map is still running. This I've essentially worked these skills into like a workflow, right? Where I run CTO auto, and the auto is referring to the pipeline that we created, where it would go from consume to transcribe to gen scene map to find clips, whatever it is. Uh, and so hooks might be a useful way to start building some structure into that. It looks like I think we might have built it from manual whenever Claude and I made this CTO auto command. I bet you it's just a script that runs. Uh, but we'll see. Maybe that's what the hooks are. Let's see what else it says. Context auto inject, brand profile plus bundled state inject on prompt, session start, cross skill leverage. That could be useful. So yeah, maybe instead of it instead of each skill that needs to use channel brands loading it when it needs it, we could instead like load it at the start of the session when we can surmise, like when we can figure out what the context is. Okay, we're talking about this brand. It just kind of changes where that happens in the process. Loop closers, critic outputs, reviews, session activity, review sessions, feed weekly review, uh, autonomously, autonomously. I know that word. And then guardrails, capture to do, add route. I think all of these add to do, capture to do, auto route, which I also haven't gotten into here, but I built out in the past week or so where we can like auto capture to dos and start working that through the product pipeline, whatever it is. I'll show that on another live stream. It's not too important to get into right now. I think all of these are useful if they could apply. How do I submit? How do I submit though? Okay, submit. Oh, maybe I gotta go here. Okay, plan depth, implementation ready, recommended, chosen themes, hooks, JSON, pilot one hook end to end, concept menu only, ideal level plan, hook event, intent per theme. See, this is a problem with caveman mode right now is that I don't, I don't know what the hell is it even asking me right now? Why are you asking me this? I asked what are some useful hooks? Maybe it set it up here and I just didn't listen. That's what it is. That's what happened. Haha, pie on my face. Now I'm the idiot. Are you happy, Claude? You humiliated me in front of my friends. Are you freaking happy? All right, so pipeline chaining. Here's before we answer the question, why don't we look at what the question's asking, you idiot, JL. Watch CTO subcommand exit codes. On success, inject next step nudge. I like that a lot. So basically, we can add a hook that is somewhat aware of the different work, like the way these workflow steps go, which order, right? I'm not going to consume a video or I'm not going to transcribe a video before I consume it. I have to consume it first before I'm able to transcribe it. And so there's some implicit sequence here to how these commands can be arranged, we could build that knowledge into a hook and then have, whenever we're running any of the commands, have it nudge towards the next relevant one. That that would be useful. It's definitely just a little like nice to have, a little extra little delighter, but still. Why high leverage? README workflow always encodes this life cycle. Hook makes it ambient instead of cognitive load. Okay. Brand profile auto load. User prompt submit. Scan prompt for channel slug. Inject the profile inline so consumer skills get it free. That's exactly what I said earlier. Bundle context auto inject. Okay, so this is the bundle is essentially the data structure where we store all the any of the video that or artifacts that we're working with the video around. It just stores them into files and then stores it in the cache on the computer. Critic output, auto append score output. Yeah, that could be useful. There's a weekly review skill that runs that essentially summarizes all the stuff that we did over the past week and tries to look for patterns to improve our process. It's new. I haven't used it. I only used it in the first week, so I'm TBD on if it's useful. But it was pretty useful just to see all the stuff that we had done in a week. So yeah, Claude and I. The capture to do auto route. Yeah, I mean all of these are pretty useful. Pre-flight gates. CTO cut clips with no clips JSON block. Redirect to find clips. That same as before. Is having that workflow knowledge, knowing you can't go here. You got to start here. Again, that's just a nice to have. None of these are like crazy, crazy big, but I do like the pipeline chain. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so then let's do implementation ready and hook scope. Now we know what it's asking. Let's just start with one. I don't care about the art, the brand. Okay, let's do these two. Yeah, submit. How we doing, chat? Frankie, you need Claude to translate the things Claude is saying. I do. I need a from caveman to normal man translator skill. Ridiculous. And the Claude docs are really good too. I just had these pulled up, just made me think of it, but highly recommend digging into those. You can see they go into some of these like just different, more advanced patterns that you could do with the skills. Uh, that's terrifying. By the way, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out my new YouTube channel. Just started it recently. That's what we're live streaming on right now. And it's where I'm going to put all this tech related content, non-fantasy, tech, tech business, anything on the more serious side, the non-fantasy football side of stuff. I'll put it into this brand on this channel. So if you haven't already, check it out. Subscribe. I should probably subscribe from the fantasy company. Nah, we'll keep it real. We'll keep it real. We're not gonna do no self-subscribing here on right live on live stream. That'd be bad. Can't be subscribing to yourself live in front of people. Okay, it's something you do in private. I wonder if it finished doing the scene map. Finally, it did. Okay, so I want to pull this up so you can see what's the bundle. 00B92. Okay, I'm pull this over so you can see it. So this is the scenes that I came up with. I could put it in Markdown. That's easier. All right, video scenes. This is from the live stream earlier today. Cold open, JL's time zone apology. It does not get the speakers right. That's what I was working on right before this. I couldn't quite get it working. Uh, it always thinks I'm whoever the other person is. It tries to figure it out from the incomplete information. It's not important. It's not important, JL. Oh, look, Frank in chat. Shout. That's you, Frank. Greets Frank in the chat. That's you, buddy. It's crazy. It knows who you are. And then and then hands JL the floor for an AI question first. Jets AI first announcement. So that broke up that part of the conversation. That's just, we started the show talking about the New York Jets chief data analytics officer talking about how they have an AI first mindset. This is pretty useful, actually. I might clip this for this channel. Probably not. We didn't really talk AI too. No, we got it. We did talk a little AI. The next Scott Fishbowl scoring deep dive. So we dug into, if you don't know, Scott Fishbowl is a charity fantasy football tournament started by a good friend of ours, Scott Fish. And we dug into this for a while. This is a good portion of it. There's not much NFL news right now in the off season. And then Geosports trivia games. So you can see, and it's got the timestamps here with each one. And so this is super useful from a content production standpoint, being able to see all of this. You can imagine we can use this for clips. We can use this for chapters. We can use this to analyze our live streams and how we're structuring them, formatting them, that type of thing. So this is a huge unlock. I've been super excited about this and starting to work this into our workflow. Let's see, did it get to the end? Yeah. Okay. So it finished. It found some good clips. Let's see what it came up with. Nope. I put it over here. Clips. I got lost in Simon's eyes. This game punishes them twice for the same Korea versus Vegas misclick. Oh my god, that was awful. Yeah, oh yeah. Simon and I this is terrible. The whole chat knew where it was. They knew it was Vegas. And Simon and I, this is so stupid guessing Korea. Some question about Dennis Rodman. That's pretty good. So we could go now, take this and run. Look, we can do cut clips. 00B92. I think maybe will work if I just say cut clips. Cut clips. Oh yeah, it did work. Let's say 1, 2, 3. So now I have this skill where it actually goes in and cuts those clips out of the longer form video and puts them into a new clips subfolder in our little bundle, folder that we got created here. And that way, that will cut down on the clips editing portion, because usually I have to load the whole long form into an editor and then I have to go find the moment where we're talking about it, figure out the boundaries of that conversation, take that clip out and put it into a new timeline, and then whittle that down into something that's more of like, okay, here's the gist of what we're saying here. Here's the short form version of it. And so now we just cut down like a huge portion of this, can just automate and have Claude do it. Okay, clips written. Let's see. We'll be the judges. I got lost in Simon's eyes. Let's open this up. I don't think I can open. I don't think it. Oh my God, it does. Okay, my speakers don't work for you guys. So this is us. It's minute 23. It's us talking through it. Okay, something that's interesting I just thought of now is I'm pretty sure it's clipping the lower quality version. So I might need to have it download if we want to do the editing portion of it, might have to have it download the 4K version or the 1080 version, because I think to save on time, it downloads the lower quality version because it doesn't really need the best quality to do some of the analysis stuff. But if we're going to clip it and put it into new content, then we're going to want the highest quality file, like ingredients, basically. So I'm just making a mental note of that now, as I'm going to have to address that to make this skill more useful. They thought Rodman went to Korea. Ignored the chat entirely. It was really sad. What up, Joey? Welcome. And did Simon show up to the show today? Because I didn't. Yes, he did. Thank goodness. I texted him like, "You better not be sleeping again. You better be awake." Thank God. God, he showed up. Welcome in, Joey. How you doing, buddy? We're making some skills. We made some skills so that this is us actually right now. I mean, not right now, but you know what I mean. This is a clip from us this morning, and we were guessing, trying to guess where Dennis Rodman took a vacation in the middle of a season one year. We guessed North Korea. It wasn't North Korea. Surprise. We got these other ones too, and so we picked. You saw me pick one, two, and three. It's top three clips, but we could, go back and change it, have it modify which of the clips that we want, or change the boundaries on those clips, or have it rerun the clips, which is kind of cool. I got to remember to do that. To make a note of that thing. Oh, I see. I've already forgotten it. It was the video quality, the video download quality. Okay. Do we want to auto accept this plan? This is for the hook that it's going to make. Yeah, the plan looks pretty good. Oh, I didn't look at the plan. So many windows. Okay, yeah, we don't need all this. Single hook registry. Yeah, that sounds good. Post CTO command. Session start nudge. Okay. All right, let her rip. The plan looks good. Good enough. The nice thing with this is too that it's just with these plugins, you can just dog food this yourself. I never really got that saying. I don't know who likes to eat dog food, but it just means to use your own thing. It feels like there's a lot better terminology for that. There's a lot better analogies out there for using your own thing to get it done. But I digress. Get rid of all these stupid windows. Don't need them. Goodbye. Sweden, be on. Okay, that's running. We got the clips. You saw that process. So it went and found the clips. Now we're building out some hooks to essentially work the workflow into our plugin so that our plugin is aware of which skills should be run when given any individual video that we're analyzing or groups of videos. And that's our first little foray into the hook game here. uh you saw here, I pulled this up earlier, this little left hand panel. This is the structure of our plugin. We have a plugin folder. It's just any folder on your computer, and this is all stored in GitHub, which adds like version control, like you get with, like, for instance, like Google Docs. You can see like, oh, go back to this version. It's kind of like that, but for code, uh, and and other documents too, not just code. We got agents here, which are our different sub agent definitions. Uh, the main difference with subagents versus skills, subagents gonna like load the context entirely, and so it's not as useful for a specific instance where you're trying to do something. It is useful when you have like a task that you can delegate and you want like an overall perspective loaded into the prompt. And there's implications for when the main difference is basically when that context gets loaded in the process of you interacting with Claude in your workflow. And that has implications for the tokens that are used, right? How efficient your token usage is, and as well as the output that you're getting, quality of the output. Oh my God, it's asking me everything. I run an auto, baby. Rip it. There's no danger. You can't do anything. You have no claws, Claude. Your claws are gone, Claude. We put rubber bands on them, Claude. It was really sad. I'm sorry, Frank. We didn't mean to ignore you. All right. What the heck? All right. All right, chap. We're gonna let this Claude cook. It's gonna make us some hooks. Cook our hooks, Cloud. All right, maybe we'll call it here because I don't know that there's it's gonna dispatch this work and we're just gonna be sitting here for a while. So hey, if you got any questions about AI or tech or products you're trying to figure out what to build, throw some questions in the chat, join these live streams, but most importantly, check out my YouTube channel, Creator CTO, and throw some comments on those videos and those live streams with whatever questions you have. I'll answer them. That's what I'm here for. Otherwise, thanks for joining, Frank, Joey. It's good to see you guys. And yeah, love you guys. Have a good one. Goodbye. Wait, watching Claude cook is like watching popcorn pop. It's so boring, bro. It's so freaking boring sometimes. And then I switch to something else and then I get distracted and I forget to come back to it. It's a real problem. We'll figure it out though, Frank. Don't you worry. All right, friends. Goodbye. Have a good day.